Y'all do not want to know how messed up this setup is. It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm using my normal little stretchy tripod over there to hold up the light. So I've got this camera on the mini tripod, which is like struggling to hold it. So I'm scared of what is going to happen over here. But you know what? We got to get into the video, so we're going to get into the video. To start with, I've been talking a lot about my origins again recently because, you know, I just remade my Pride coming out video for Pride. And I've been thinking about other things I wanted to remake and redo that were lost in that 2018 to early 2019 time zone. And thinking about it, there was actually a video I never uploaded to YouTube. Like, not even once, not even for a bit. But it was also technically my first video like this, that was, you know, one of these. And in a way, it was the video that literally inspired me to start doing this and carried off this whole 4-year thing. So I figure, you know, it is Pride related, it is gay related, it's all the stuff, it has all the boxes ticked. Why not go ahead and sort of revive that old video? And the funny thing is, in order to really kind of do that, I got to tell you all a bit of history about that whole chapter of my life that spawned it. I got my pre-workout. I'm here at the gym. I'm going to work out, but I figure, you know what? I got all this to drink, so I'm going to tell you guys a story. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I'm going to tell you guys all the story, you know, while I slurp a slurp. So we'll get into that after this.
Now where do you think you're going? Thought it was wrong to come home. My daddy won't be home. It's in dark. Now where do you think you're going? Thought it was wrong to come home. Your mama says I'm no good boy.
Getting into this story, we kind of have to go a bit back in time, all the way back to before I actually came out. A certain friend who has been talked about on this channel before, who shall be referred to as Jay for now. Jay wanted to hook me up with somebody. He was like, hey, I know this guy that is also, you know, gay, and let's go ahead and, you know, get you two together, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not even out. I don't really want to date. I don't want to get into anything complicated like that. But he talked up this guy a bit. He pointed the guy out to me, and boy, was cute. Really cute. And essentially, I thought about it a bit and decided, you know what? I want to try this. But I wasn't going to do it like half-assed or like anything like that. I want to do it properly. So I came out. Y'all heard that story, and I don't know how much in depth I went into about this is the reasoning behind it, because, you know, there were so many other aspects about wanting to come out too. But yeah, a very large part of the reason I wanted to come out is because of a really, really cute, hot boy. And there we go. So I came out. I was like, okay, I'm gay now, officially, you know, it's on the cards, it's everything. Hook me up with this boy, you know? And he did. And we started chatting on messengers and stuff, getting to know each other. It was really, really cute the first night. Like, I feel like just staying up all night, messaging each other, asking questions, talking, and all this, agreeing to meet up the next day. Next day, get up early-ish for me. Come here to the gym. He's going to meet me here. He does come. We do meet up. We kind of have like a little lazy-ish workout. I say lazy-ish. I went and just put like a lightweight for me on the shoulder press. It was way heavier for him, and he was like wanting to show off, so he did the weight. And then after that, he was like too exhausted to do any other exercises really. So I kind of scraggled through my workout while we talked, and he sat, listened, and all this. It was really sweet, really nice. I got to know about his grandmother that he lived with. It was like the only person in his family that really accepted him and knew he was out. He was closeted and everyone else. I got to learn about the relationship he was sort of in at the moment with a girlfriend that was like really controlling, really sort of bad for him, I guess is the way he was like phrasing it and such. But got to know about all that, and essentially got to find out that he had come out to Jay. Um, it's sort of a moment of weakness, like a little breaking down, tears were shed kind of thing, like really bearing the soul type. And all in all, I liked him a lot. And we left the gym, agreed to meet up some other time, and a few days pass. We meet up at his house. Very forward, I know. And that was really cute because, on the one hand, he had little ideas of what he wanted to do. He had little plans of what to talk about, so it was like kind of a moment. But then a lot of fun stuff happened on that very first date. Like he said, so this girl, she's being awful, really bad. I broke up, and I'm interested in you, really interested in you. And we did more chatting, we did more talking. We tried to play some games, but his PS3 was being a bit odd that day, and some of the stuff we wanted to try wasn't working. So, you know, we decided we're gonna go get some food. We went up walking all the way to work. He tells me everything about Skyrim. I am not even kidding. He was just like talking it up, chatting about it, being like so excited to talk about the character he built in it, and it was adorable. And really, I think that moment specifically is when the idea of liking a gamer guy or like a little bit of a dorky guy stopped being hypothetical and became literal. Like, literally my dream type from that whole conversation with him. It was really sweet, and just like the enthusiasm and the light in his face as he talked about it was so cute. We get to work, people are noticing, kind of giggling about it, joking, and like it did seem to hit him too much, but they some of them did go a bit heavy, and I thought that was bad, and I did like that, especially since he's so recently out at this point. And we go back to his house, talk some more. Some family comes over, we get to meet them, all this, and got to this, we end up finding out, his grandmother's taking a turn. He and his family are all going to go see her, and there we go. So we said our goodbyes, hugged really tightly. I wanted to kiss him, but I didn't. And that's one of the things I often think about. Like, what would have changed if I had? Probably nothing, but, at least I would have got to kiss him. That would have been fun. His grandmother passes away. And this opens up, like, a whole collection of issues and problems because, like I said, she was the only one that he was really out to, the only person that he could really be free around, the only one that was really, like, fully accepting and understanding of him. And he lived with her, and, he was using, no, I'm not going to use that word. He was living with her to, like, get away from his family and claim a little bit of independence, but also she needed support, she needed help, so that's what he was doing. And it's just, like, made things a problem because it turned into an issue of could he maintain this life without her now? And I think he was taking that pretty hard. And he came back. We kind of chatted a little bit after this, but he was like feeling up. And I didn't want to bother because, I know mourning periods and all that. One day we're chatting on Messenger, and I can't even remember the conversation, but I just remember that out of nowhere, it blocks me, which hurt a lot. Like, really, really hurt. So I blocked on Messenger, but there's always, like, a few days when we end up working similar schedules at McDonald's. So I just sort of wait for one of those. And one of them comes along, but it's like, we can't really interact too much. I'm more front, he's more in the back. And, like, the managers we usually get aren't the ones that are very allowing of chitty chat, talk. So I wait till my lunch break. I get the idea. I go and I grab a napkin, I think it was, and I write down a quick little note to him, and I say, look, I understand. I forgive you. And, if you want to chat about things, this and that. Oh, before I forget, one of the things is he basically announced the whole coming out thing was like a joke, like a gag, and, something that wasn't real. So I also had this in the context of everything because I figured it out. I figured out because of little things he had told me and little hints that he said that essentially what was happening here is there were too many risks going on. There was too many things changing. And basically he got to rescind himself and become straight again to everyone at work. The main thing was when I mentioned that I met family of his, it was a cousin that has known he is gay for a long time. Well, knows that he is bi, for a long time, accepted it, was fine with it, and blah, all this. That stuck in my head because I was thinking, okay, this whole idea of like faking the coming out to the coworkers and everything, that's one thing, that could make sense. But the cousin, that stands out. The cousin knows, the cousin accepts it. So there's something there. So I write this letter out. I, find his jacket, which is very, very like easy to identify. He always wore the same jacket. I pop it in the pocket and wait, go back to work, see him, notice that he's trying like pretty hard not to talk to me. And then we finish up. Well, he finishes up first and leaves, and then I just kind of wait, finish up my shift, and then he ends up unblocking me on Messenger and saying, "Hey, you should come over." And the one really fun thing I love is he was like, Cody, that was smooth doing that, getting that little letter. And he took me into his bedroom. No. But he showed me this little thing he had where he had said, like, I decided I'm going to keep that, which was really heartwarming and kind of sweet. And this turned into like another long, fun night of us hanging out, playing games, talking, watching stuff, getting to know each other. And it turned into a little bit of something more complex too, because he ended up talking to me about Jay and stuff. So what had happened is the reason that he decided to rescind all of this, the reason that he had like panicked and such, is because he didn't actually get to properly come out. What had happened was that, he had come out confided in Jay one-on-one type thing. That had happened. But one day he was having a bad day. The other co-workers were being assholes, and he decided to walk out. And Jay, as retaliation for this, decided to tell everyone he's just upset because he's bi or because he's gay. Because like one thing Jay did a lot was like misidentify him as being gay. And as we had this conversation and we ended up, talking to him inadvertently through Messenger and such, like I full on called that out and I said, no, he is bisexual. You will refer to him as bisexual. There's none of this calling him gay or anything. You're going to call him what he is. And that's the end of it. So that happened. We chatted more, hung out more, had fun. I didn't leave until like very early morning. It was a crazy and fun night. And I loved it. And then he does tell me, I think at this point, it is when he tells me he's going to try to like get back together with his girl, but he still wants to be friends, is what he says. So things go on pretty good for a while, and at some point he stops responding to messages, which he's never really good at in the first place. But he stops responding to messages, and I'm like, I'll give him a little space, give him a little time. Then I start worrying. So one day I'm in the gym thinking about him. I had sent a few messages over the day. There was no response. I had seen him on the schedule for work that day. He wasn't there. I got kind of worried. So I just like hopped on my bike, went by to his house, and, trepidatiously, in the boldest moment of my life, I knocked on the door and was like, hey, is he okay? His cousin was there, opened the door, and I said, is he okay? Is everything? And he's like, hey, let him in. And I think I can't remember if he said he had been sick the day or if he just like was tired. He had just slept in for like the whole day. It was one of the two. And he was okay. He was doing good. And we ended up chatting more, hanging out more. I had my laptop with me this time, I think, so We ended up going down to the college to try and download a show he wanted to watch. And when we sat there chatting and such, he told me that the girlfriend and he were back together and such, but also she had essentially outed him again to herself, which sounds weird, but I'll get into this. So, she had, I think, heard rumors about him being bisexual from other people, and she decided she wanted to, find out for herself. So she like cornered him and essentially like pestered him and bullied him. I can't remember which word he used, but I kind of want to go with bullying in this case. She like eventually bullied out his confession that he is in fact bisexual, and the thing that stuck out to me, the thing that was really worrisome to me, is that her ultimatum at receiving all this was like, well, you're not going to have any guy friends now, are you? Like, already girls were off the cards because, jealous girlfriend syndrome. But now that you knew he was bisexual, gonna start cutting off the male ones too. Like, gotta approve those, gotta narrow that down. Which, outside of anything else, was just disgusting and disturbing and creepy as hell to me because, first of all, building any relationship on the basis of inherent distrust is gross and wrong. The general, you know, shitty attitude towards bisexuals in general was wrong and shitty. All in all, I didn't like that. But, oh well. So, we had another good night. It was fun and sweet. This is when he had flashed his abs at me. I was like, kind of goading him. I didn't expect him to do it, but he did, and fuck, that was hot. He had like the perfect amount of hair, and just, this dude was like so effing gorgeous. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted thinking about him. So, a few more days pass and such, and again, things kind of go radio silent on his end after a while, so I decided to go check on him again. I was riding by, getting to his place. He was on the patio with someone. He sees me coming, kind of rushes out forward, meets me at the bike. I don't even get off or anything. He's just like, not right now, I can't do it right now, please. And he was like flustered. I don't want to say crying, but like, he had this look of someone who could very well be on the verge. And it did look bad. And I went ahead, I left, like he asked me to. But again, one of those things I always think about now. I didn't go back. I wanted to, I thought about it a long time, but there was something about seeing him in that state, and it was like, as much as I wanted to go back, I also thought, do I even have the right to see him in this kind of fragile moment? But I didn't go back. Again, more radio silence. Eventually I get blocked again, and, I don't really get to hear anything from him, but I get to hear from other people what's going on. And I get to check other bits of social media and find out too, sort of. But he ends up moving back in with his parents. He can't keep up the grandmother's house into rent anymore, or the problems the landlord wasn't fixing. So he ends up moving back in. It's all kind of falling apart for him, and I get it. I get why he wanted to go into more stability, why he wanted to cut out any extra drama or new things or changes in his life. I get all of that. I just wish it wasn't me. But as it's all drawing to a close, as everything's like winding up, I decide to try one more thing. I whipped out my old A98, whatever it is, Sony camera, popped it on the tripod, stuck it in front of my desk, sat there, and I talked to him. I basically aired out all my thoughts, all my feelings, told him the stuff that, I understood, that I had guessed at, that I assumed, and basically, ultimately said, like, if you are ready for this, I get it. If you're afraid of these things, I understand it, but I do really care about you. You mean a hell of a lot to me. You are probably one of my first loves I've had in a while. I fall hard, I fall fast, I admit it. It is a problem I have. But like, again, I didn't come out until I was 28, and then I meet a really amazing guy who just like checks so many boxes in the first time. How was I not going to fall fast? But I said everything, and in a serendipitous moment, right as I decided to finish saying my last sentence, at the exact moment I finished it, the SD card inside the camera is filled up, all 4 gigabytes, I know. And that's that. I pop out the card, take a spare cell phone I'm not using, put that in the envelope too so he can use it to play it if he doesn't have his own player or anything like that. Write a tiny little note to explain things and all this. And stupid moment, I get a little Beanie Baby owl and pop it with the letter so it looks like it was delivered from Hogwarts because, you know, J.K. Rowling sucks, but like, this was the past. I go by his place one last time before he's officially moved out, pop it into the mailbox. And funnily enough, like right as I was leaving and going away from this, he and his family like turned the corner in the car, and I don't know if he saw me, but I saw him, and I wanted to see what would happen, but I didn't stay. I moved on. And that's how the story ends. There was no response, there was no ending to it. It was just me putting that in the mailbox, my one last try, and that's it. Other things happened in his life. He moved on, he moved from where he moved to somewhere else, and as far as I know, he is living a good, comfortable, happy life now. Before I close this video, I kind of want to go back to that. I want to end this video the way I started these videos, talking to Austin. Hey Austin. So, wow, it's been 4 years since the last time this happened. A little bit more than 4 years, actually, because, not to make you feel guilty or anything, but like, the last time we had any form of communication, as it were, was like, I think a few weeks or so before my birthday, because I know I made the coming out video, and then a few days later was my birthday, and I made a video about that, and that's how this whole thing kicked off. And as weird as it is, I really just have to say thank you, because making that video for you was such a catalyst for me, and there's been ups, there's been downs. Nothing is huge now. I'm not going to pretend like, oh my god, I'm a YouTube celebrity, I'm so famous, but you really did set off something amazing, and the people I've met, the friends I've made, have been fantastic and amazing and life-changing and so many great things, and none of it would have been possible without this whole thing, without you, without that whole thing we did, without any of it. So, if nothing else, I really just want to say thank you. I hate how things ended. I have always liked the idea of closure, and I have never really gotten to experience closure with so many things. But a lot of things got thrown in the air, and you know, I'm not blaming you or anything. I know you were going through hell, and I know that I, at the time, was like so dumbstruck with affection and obsession and complicated emotions that I probably was making the situation harder rather than easier. Even though, like, I was desperate to help, I probably was just not being the kind of person that I should have been. And I'm sorry for that. I really, truly am. Not just for how the outcome was, but just for what you needed, what you were looking for. Because I get it now. I really do. And, you know, if anything, like I had said, friendship was always one of the strongest goals there. So just the fact that I couldn't be the kind of friend that you would have needed during that situation is enough for me to feel that I could have done better. And, I feel like in the situation and in that context of where I was in my life, I did as best as I could. We can't change that. We can't fix it, and we shouldn't regret any of that, but I do at least wish that I could have been more like the person I am now, as opposed to who I was then, because I feel like this version of me could have been so much better. But that's life, huh? We grow, we develop, we change, and then we look back and realize that there's so many times where we could have been better if we knew then what we know now. Which, I hope you're happy. I hope everything is going fantastic for you. I hope you're enjoying your life, enjoying everything you can. And, I don't really know what I'm expecting out of this, or if I'm expecting anything, to be honest. Because I'm going to send this to you. I am going to hope you see it and watch it, maybe, but I don't think I'm going into this expecting anything like, a fully rekindled friendship, us becoming the best of besties all over again, everything going back to where it was, anything like that. Maybe more keeping in touch. Maybe, a little bit of back and forth. I don't know, but at the very least, this is me taking control and trying to get the closure from my end by, again, like saying the things I want to say and really hoping. Those two guys were pieces of shit, and I did try to defend you with them, but I wish I had done so much harder knowing now what I know about them, because I was way too soft and way too easy on bullshit they pulled, because, they were my friends, they're the ones that helped me come out, they're the ones that pushed me into self-acceptance, blah blah blah. It doesn't change the fact that so much of what they did to you, especially Jay, was reprehensible. He framed the story in a weird way to me, and he changed it a little bit, so here and there, but that, especially with other aspects of him I got to know about, make me feel like that is probably all bullshit anyway. He said that, oh, you were obsessively in love with him and wouldn't leave him alone and kept trying to get with him, and that, he did the whole outing you thing to, get you to back away, and honestly, I don't believe that. First of all, you could do so much better than him, to be honest, but yeah, those guys, I don't know, if you do watch this, if you did want to find out more, I have videos up here about the stuff they've done, about their influences in my life, which ended up being far more bad than good, but that's a different story. I really just do hope things are going well for you and that you're developing and becoming a better person and being true to yourself. I'm not saying that I expect you to be out or to even, have to come out, but it's I feel like our interactions were when you were at a very delicate point, and there's no fault in you for treading back on things, no fault on you for trying to be cautious and careful when so much of your life was going topsy-turvy left and right on the daily. I don't think anyone in their room I could blame you for that, but doing too much of that, as someone who came out literally a month before I met you, at 27 and 11 months or whatever it was, it really does eat at you, and it really does like pull apart. And I feel like being able to be honest, even just to say it casually and not have any fear or negative association with it or with how other people will perceive it, is a huge change in your psyche and your mentality that is incredible to experience. So I do hope you can find that, and in whatever capacity works for you. But I don't know. I really just wanted to be able to say these things. To be able to say that I feel like I did really fall hard for you. I full on experienced love there. And yeah, it was quick, super quick, let's be honest here. It was kind of crushy, let's be honest, like first love type stuff, but the more I look back on it, and it has been a while, but I do think about it frequently as well, the more I look at it, the more I realize that the qualities in you that caught me, that centered me into those emotions and made them so strong, are qualities that have done the exact same to me in countless other guys that I have gotten to know, gotten to talk to, meet, just experience. And you really were formative to me in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying anything creepy like every guy I look at is going to be a clone of you or have to match up to you type thing, but looking at how intrinsically beautiful so many aspects of you were to me, I feel like any guy I do end up is going to be a reflection of a lot of those qualities and is going to resemble you just purely by that one thing. And I am sorry. It couldn't have been you. That could have been fabulous, I think, but it wasn't, and I'm okay with that. And I've moved on, and I still think about you. I still care about you. I still worry about you, and that is very much the kind of person I am. I feel like I'm always going to have a lot of good emotions for people when I end up caring about them and liking them. Even if they're terrible people, which isn't about you, it's about those guys. But yeah, I really just wanted to say these things to you, be able to say one last goodbye, and just wish you all the best. Because you're amazing, you're a genuinely sweet person, and you deserve so much. So, take the best care of yourself, man. And, yeah. Not even going to do an outro for this video because this whole ending part is just for you. And, yeah. Nice to see you again, and bye.